After 80 whole days, we are finally back. FNCS is officially here. We got to see our first look at so many of these different trios in an FNCS setting. I am just so excited. We got to see some crazy fights between Peterbot and Clix's trio as well. Real close to you starts though, please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as I'm pretty sure we are so close to 111,000 subscribers. So if you guys want to help me reach that goal, please just sub up to the channel and turn on notifications. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. We should also be streaming all of the group stages as well on my Twitch, so make sure you guys go drop a follow over there if you guys want to watch the group stages with me. Without further ado though, let's get this video started. Alright, so if you guys don't know how this qualifying format works, it is a 2-day FNCS play-ins where the top 99 trios will be put into seeding, and then there will be 3 separate groups where those teams will actually play in the heats, and then from the heats is where they try to qualify for grands. So we are just looking for the top 99 trios, and in first place after day 1 of NA, we have the trio of Agers, Acorn, and Poyo. Now we unfortunately did not get to see a single off spawn fight between Poyo versus Peterbot today, but Acorn and them were on an absolute heater, finishing with 652 points, winning 1 out of their 10 matches, and finishing with the most eliminations as well, getting 196 total elims. They had 6 total games today where they finished with over 25 elims. Their best games were a 26 elimination 7th, 27 elimination 5th, 38 elimination 2nd, 27 elimination 10th, 31 elimination win, and a 37 elimination 4th. I really do believe if they had Uncon Demon's Domain, there would be some real discussions for this potentially being the best trio in the entire world. Second place though, a trio that I am super happy to see doing well, of Reed, Cooper, and Curly. I was actually talking to Reed the other day, and he said that he is still so confident in his trio going into FNCS, even though everyone is making it out to seem like they are massively struggling. So I am wishing this team the best. They finished with 574 points, won 3 out of their 9 matches, and got 134 total elims as well. And then in third place is the trio of Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot. These guys finished with 553 points, won 1 out of their 9 matches, and finished with the second most elims, only second to Poyo's trio, getting 183 elims. Now these guys had 5 total games where they got over 20 elims. Their highest elim game was a 36 elimination win, so they were not able to beat out Poyo for the highest elim win of the day. Fourth place was Noxy, Ozone, and Veer on 543. Fifth place was Mud Shadow and Sphinx, one of our trios that is trying to qualify for LAN, on 520. Sixth place was Curve, Josh, and Tyler on 508. Very happy to see that they are doing good. Seventh place was Taki, Eshu, and Vert. Eighth place was Rapid, Kanata, and Bolt, another one of our trios that is also trying to qualify for LAN. Some people are even saying that this is going to be their FNCS winning prediction right here. They finished with 476 points, won 2 out of their 10 total matches, and got 124 elims as well. So a pretty solid day for them, all things considered. Ninth place was Void, Broken, and King, and then rounding out the top 10 was Clix, Iamzo, and Higgs on 437. Now already on day 1 of FNCS, we got to see a Clix versus Peterbot mid-game fight. So let me just roll that fight for you guys real quick.
They're not rezzing.
200.
100.
Nice. Full box Higgs. Full box on Higgs. To your left.
I'm trying to come Higgs.
200.
Getting in.
I caped out.
Oh my god.
100.
Higgs, you're so good. I saw that. Higgs, you're so good for that. I'm not even trolling.
Now, oh my goodness, does Higgs look absolutely primed up right now or what? This is the trio that everybody is expecting to win FNCS this season, and I am a little bit surprised that they're not like first place on the opens leaderboards, because they normally absolutely dominate FNCS opens, and I've seen a lot of people have some question marks about them because they weren't able to win any div cups when they were heavily the favorites. So what is to say that they'll still be able to win FNCS? I am still very confident in this trio though. They have so many different things going for them, and I think this should finally be all of their first ever FNCS wins. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves though. Some other big names that are currently on pace to qualify is like 11th place of Aviv, G Money, and Rise. So yes, even after all of the controversy and even Rise tweeting out that they were looking for a new trio, I guess they just weren't able to find anybody that they were more confident in than Aviv. And they're also probably just assuming that Aviv is not going to be getting banned or anything like that, because they are now pretty much locked in with Aviv for the rest of the season, unless they're not able to qualify for grands. Then they can maybe play with somebody else for the last chance qualifiers, but I just don't see that happening, and I'm assuming that this team is going to be fully together now for the rest of this season. 12th place was Dukes, Edgy, and Chance. We had the Brazil goats of Phaser, King, and PHZen in 16th place. Now these guys ended up going on like a 1-week vacation during the 2-week summer break, and I saw a lot of people really worrying about these guys, but they did kind of put a lot of those narratives to bed. They finished with 383 points, won 2 out of their 10 matches, and got 90 total elims as well. This isn't necessarily a trio that anybody is expecting to win FNCS on NA, but I think they do have a real shot at pulling off a top 10, maybe even as high as a top 6 or 7. Some of the big names we have is like 41st place of Booga Threats and Craze, another trio that is trying to qualify for LAN. A lot of these teams are just W-king every single one of their games because a top 99 qual format is not that difficult. We have Visuals Braze and Minish in 57th, and that is about it for all of the current trios that are on pace to qualify for group stages. Now the only real like notable trios that are currently not on pace to be able to qualify from NA is like 136th place of Skittles, Dash, and Bryce. They only have 205 points in 10 total matches after day 1. You're probably gonna need around like 550 points to be able to qualify, so they're gonna need a pretty big day 2. And you could also say the same thing for the trio in 144th place of Seek, Joji, and Donnie, as they are currently only on 197 points in 10 matches. Now for the final statistics, I just wanted to go over so many different things on the new Asarian update. It is so cool to me, so sorry if you guys don't like stats. Also, shout out to the one iOS player that was playing in FNCS Division 1, but for the damage ratio, the player that ended up leading it today was Sebi with a 2.34 damage ratio. Damage to players was Peterbot with 19,718 damage, and then right under him was Pollo, and then there was a pretty sizable gap between those two. I cannot wait to see Peter and Pollo reunite next year, because even if you go to like the elims, first place is Pollo with 85, and then you have Peter in second with 75. I saw this clip of Peter talking about it the other day, but he says that he feels like Pollo now is better than he was last year. And I honestly have to completely agree with that statement. Like, Pollo has been playing absolutely out of his mind recently, and he is definitely moving up that list for the current best players in the world. He honestly probably has a real argument to be the second best player on all of NA right now even. For the assists, this one was absolutely dominated by Acorn with 95. I also want to show you guys the final stats for the winners of Aegis, Acorn, and Pollo. There's just so many things going on here. This website is actually just so cool, but the most elims from the trio was of course Pollo, like we said earlier. You're also gonna see the entire damage ratio for every single player here. You're gonna see their accuracy, how many headshots they hit, their edit accuracy, how long it takes them to actually do edits, and the player that was able to stay alive the longest on the trio was Acorn with 2 hours and 48 minutes. Sorry for kind of like nerding out over these stats for a little bit though. Let's actually move on to how EU went now. Now on EU, a lot of our big names are looking super good so far. The trio that we have in first place is one of our brand new trios of this season of iDrop, Hari, and Cammy. Now, if you guys don't watch any videos besides FNCS, yes, Cammy and Seti have officially split up, and Cammy is now playing with iDrop and Hari. This team had a super impressive day. They got 494 points in 7 total matches and won 4 of them. The trio only finished with 75 total elims, but they did have an average placement of 5.4. If you look at their best games today, they literally had a 3-game just completely identical stretch, getting a 14 elimination win for 3 straight games, and then were able to close off the tournament with a 10 elimination win and a 10 elimination 4th. I have been saying this ever since this team formed. This is a consistency trio. If this team is not going to be consistent, then there pretty much is no point of these guys even being a trio. This is never going to be a team that finishes like top 3 or top 5 with the most elims in a grand finals. But if this team is going to have any success, it is going to be based off of the back of consistency. And so far, after day 1 of the FNCS play-ins, that is exactly what they are showing. Second place, we have one of the trios that would have been probably a potential FNCS favorite if they were uncontested, of Pingwalks and Malabuka. They finished with 487 points, got 104 elims, and won 3 out of their 9 matches as well. They were one of only 5 trios to be able to finish with over 100 elims. This trio really has grown on me over the past couple of seasons. I am so high on them now, but unfortunately, we're probably not going to get to see them play to their max potential because they are contested. And if we're thinking long term here, it really does suck that we might not ever get to see this team play to their full potential, because they're probably going to be contested in this grand finals, and then there is also a very high chance that they're contested at globals as well. Third place is a trio that I'm so close to just saying screw it. This is my FNCS winning pick for this season of Chino, Pablo, and Ferdoxy. They finished with 482 points, weren't able to win any games today, but they did finish with the most elims out of all trios on day 1 of opens with 128 elims. 6 out of their 9 matches, they had over 15 elims in, and these guys just continue to be on such a heater right now. Fourth place, a trio that I am super happy to see doing well of Pig, Storm, and Demas. I feel like this whole season we have kind of just had to talk negatively about this trio just because they haven't been able to perform to any of our standards. But it's looking like they're going to be able to qualify for heats, and I can only hope that they're going to have a strong heats performance as well. Fifth place, a trio that seems to be fully locked in. They're not streaming anything. Their main mission is to qualify for globals right now, and that is the team of Pink, Nebs, and Kuro on 464. Sixth place is Vico, Vino, and Flixie on 450. It seems like Vino's trio, even though they already had so much success as a team, they still just feel like one of the teams that has the most to prove, because we all know that they have the potential to be one of the best trios in the world. I feel like they just don't show us that as consistently as some of the other top trios do. Seventh place, so happy that they're finally back together, of Swizzy, Queasy, and Murstache. Swizzy, quite literally, I'm pretty sure just played his first tournament of the season yesterday in the Eval Cup, and now this team is already back looking super good. Another one of those teams though that unfortunately is probably not going to be an FNCS favorite just because they have to fight off spawn versus Malibuka at Demon's Domain. Eighth place is actually Ilusha's brand new trio of Hellkiss and Velry. So yes, the Star Wars season GOAT trio of Wheaton, Frizzy, and Ilusha have officially split up, and now Ilusha is playing with Hellkiss and Velry. And after day 1, he was able to place higher than the teammates that dropped him. Ninth place was Dre, and then rounding out the top 10 is another trio trying to qualify for globals of Sky, Scroll, and Thomas HD. This is a top 99 qual format though, so I'm gonna go over some of the other super big names that are currently on a very good pace to qualify, like Sharks trio in 11th, Mongrel, Kaido, and Haijo in 23rd. They're currently on 373 points. My main complaint about this trio yesterday in the Eval Cup is they didn't show any consistency, and it was the complete opposite today. This trio outside of game 1 did not have a single game where they placed lower than 6th place in. They got an 11 elimination win, 11 elimination 4th, 7 elimination 4th, 8 elimination 6th, 4 elimination 3rd, and a 3 elimination 6th. I love the roles for each of the players on this trio. There seems to be a mutual amount of respect between all of them as well. I do see Mongrel slightly overheating at times still, but he is actively looking for refreshes too, which I think he is playing his role about as well as you could possibly play it. So I was very impressed with this team today. Right under them in 24th place, we had Taste and Hris and Chicho. In 34th place, we had Chap, Mr. Savage, and Rezon. Now these guys were pretty much just W keying every single one of their games in a top 99 format. That is just what you're going to see out of a lot of these trios that know it is pretty easy to qualify. They finished with 92 total elims. This team still has a couple of these same issues that they have shown throughout this season where they get into a mid-game engagement, one of them dies, they have to reboot them, and then their whole game is pretty much just ruined from there. But I'm also not gonna like hyper analyze this tournament since it is just such a wide range of qual. Seti, Yapko, and Panzer are in 36th. The defending FNCS champions in 38th place of Venya, Pixie, and Marius. I feel like especially in these open style format tournaments, these guys are more towards the top of the leaderboard, especially figuring that they only finished with 56 total elims. I wouldn't necessarily be too worried about them though. And then Wheaton to Frizzy's brand new trio in 43rd place with Sined. For all you Mr. Savage fans out there, if you're wondering how their main threat off spawn of Focus, Mixin, and Upload did after day 1, they are currently on qual pace, but they are in 72nd place, so they are at the lower end of that. They only finished with 288 points, but they also only played 7 total matches on day 1. It would be a huge upset if these guys are not able to qualify, but that is also why this qual format is a double-edged sword, because if Mr. Savage's team is able to qualify early, they can potentially Q-snipe Mixin's trio to try to push them outside of qual range. But if I had to bet money on it, I think Focus's trio is pretty easily going to be able to qualify. That is pretty much it for a lot of these super big names that are currently on pace to qualify. Let's go over the teams now that still are going to need to have a very good day 2. The main trios that are currently outside of qual range is like 105th place of Yanis, Noah Riley, and Kidduo. It is kind of crazy looking back on it now that Yanis and Noah Riley, I'm pretty sure were the players that Chap actually wanted to leave Mr. Savage and Rezon for. And I'm not saying that like Yanis's FNCS is over or anything, but they are struggling a decent amount after day 1. And then a team that just continues to look really rough in 112th place is Trulex, Teamy, and Skavi. It does really suck that a player that has just gotten back-to-back third places at globals in Trulex, there is currently a higher chance that he does not even qualify for this globals than he does at this point. They only have 240 points after day one, only got 23 total elims. It is just currently looking really rough for these guys. Let's move on to our stat leaders after day one. For damage ratio, the current leader is Dan DePuzzo with a 2.7 damage ratio. Just under him though, we have players like Mongrel on a 2.68. The most damage to players is currently Pablo on 12,653. The most eliminations is for Doxy on 52, and then assists is also Pablo. Honestly, kind of a landslide win for him right there with 71 total assists. Other than that though, remember, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. YouTube says to enjoy one of these two videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.